Are you listening? Damn.
Welcome to the AFC North Talk presented by True Classic. True Classic. Get your t-shirt game on.
Something's wrong here. I don't know how that
Don't
got
tell me you're predicting a triple B.
I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Wait. The tiebreakers are still the same,
y'all. Oh yeah, that's true. But I like it up here. No, it's
I refuse.
Funny from the future.
My bad. Anyway, shout out to everybody that is here. Shout out to people that watch the replay. Thank you all. Ace is coming, and Tony's leaving soon.
I'm leaving literally any minute. I'm literally waiting on my ride, but
I'm gonna go ahead and get it started right away.
Oh, that's why you're giving yourself the fresh shave?
Yeah, exactly.
let's go Steelers right away. Tony, what do you think about this game?
The Steelers game?
Yeah,
okay, here's the thing, right? And I think I think we're all going to repeat each other on this one, right? I mean, it just feels like the kind of game the Steelers should win given what's happened since the bye, right? When you think about what's happened since the bye, we've talked about it a lot. The Steelers offense is playing better. So they finally have what looks to be semi-competence on offense, especially in the running game.
That guy, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's turned it all, it's like that Dumb and Dumber scene, right? Just when I thought I couldn't like you anymore, you do something like this and totally redeem yourself. I got to get the Canada hat back on. So look, this offense has shown some semi-confidence. The Falcons defense isn't exactly a world beater. And then on the other side of the ball, when you just look at how the Falcons want to attack, they're very much a run first attack, right? With Cordell Patterson and the whole crew there. You look at how the Steelers have played, they've been very good in run defense. Shut down Alvin Kamara, shut down Jonathan Taylor on Monday night. And really, even though Samaje Perine had 3 touchdowns in that game, they were all, I believe, through the air. So the way to attack the Steelers right now, the Steelers' problems defensively are twofold. Even though TJ's back, they still don't have a consistent pass rush, and the lack of a consistency in the pass rush is really more and more we're seeing the flaws in this secondary, specifically that corner group, and really I think it's in that dime package with guys like Robert Spillane and Arthur Mollett in the slot. The question is going to be, okay, are the Falcons really going to be able to attack through the air, right? If the Steelers can shut down the running game, because everything the Falcons want to do is play action and everything, run the ball, and then everything's off of play action. I understand that the analytics will tell you play action can still work even when your running game's not going. But I think we'll all agree it's better if it is working. And I think that's where I feel. Yeah, that's where I feel strongly about this. Is like the Steelers should be able to shut down the run. They've been very good with that.
It's in Pittsburgh, right?
It's in Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay, here's the thing, though. We talk a lot about Tomlin games. There is the reverse of a Tomlin game, though, right? I mean, like Tomlin game meaning that the Steelers go in and win in a game they shouldn't. But we don't talk about it. But Steelers fans will tell you the reverse Tomlin game is also a thing. We haven't seen one in a while, but the Steelers going into a game where everybody says, "Hey, they should win this one." Really, there's no way they should lose. And then we're sitting here Monday going, how in the world did the Steelers lose that one? I'm not going to rule out that possibility, but it would have to involve, in my eyes, it would have to involve an implosion, right? The Steelers have certainly beaten themselves a lot of times this year. You look back at what they did against New England in week 2, what they did against the Jets in week 4, whatever that was. I mean, those were really, self-inflicted wounds a lot of the time. So could that happen? Sure. But again, I'm going to predict the Steelers beat the Falcons. They're favored in this game, by the way. And shockingly, I thought the Steelers would not be favored in another game this year. They are favored on the road in Atlanta, favored by 1.5.
But I was told the Falcons were good. They're not favored at home.
They're not favored at home. You know what? People believe the second half Tomlin run is coming.
Does that mean the Steelers are that team?
We're back. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but we are back.
So,
By the way,
what
I
is
just want to let Bengals fans know I put a thing in the StreamYard. I don't know what's happening with my name, but I'm gonna get it fixed.
They cannot see it. Let me see.
I'm gonna get that fixed. I don't know what happened there, but I'm
Chiefs
gonna
by
get it.
100. Okay. Well, Tony, since you're gonna leave very soon, you want to just go through the other 2-3 games?
Yeah. Okay. So Ravens Broncos is an easy one. The Ravens are gonna win that one. As much as we would all LOL love to see the Ravens blow another one, this will not happen. Look, this game may be artificially close because the Broncos defense is good. And
I mean, all their games are close, right? The Broncos, they have literally played everybody close.
But they're artificially close, right? Because, and what I mean by artificially close is the game is close, but you never feel like it's actually close.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Yeah, okay. And so that's where I think this game is headed. I think we may, the three of us, me, Ace, and Q, maybe in the fourth quarter of this one, like, oh, please, Russ, one time this year, pull off this upset.
Right.
I just can't see it, though, right? For all the problems.
We don't watch Russ play all year.
For all the problems the Ravens have had down the stretch, I just can't believe that a team coached by Nathaniel Hackett and quarterback by Russell Wilson right now, and all the problems that they have internally on that team, they're going to be able to do it again against, what happened with the Ravens collapses, some of them, the Miami one, right? That was talent on Miami's side just coming through in the end. And even Jacksonville last week. I mean, a lot of that was just talent coming through. Same thing with Buffalo. The Giants one I still don't understand. But the Broncos aren't doing that. So no, I'll take the Ravens easily. I think it's 8.5. I might take the Broncos because they keep it artificially close, but the Ravens are winning this game. Yeah. Browns win. The question there, and I'll be intrigued to see what Q says about this game, because this has always been interesting to me. When Watson comes back, how does that change things offensively for the Browns? Obviously, Watson's a better quarterback than Brissett, right? But the Browns haven't exactly been a bad offense, right? It's not like, okay, well, they're going to get this quarterback now that's going to unlock some new thing in their offense. Their offense is top 10 in the league. And so the question I have is, like, what is the value over average from Jacoby Brissett to an average quarterback, right? And then what is the value over average from Jacoby Brissett to Deshaun Watson? And then
I'll put it like this real quickly.
Yeah.
I'll put it like this real quickly. You would take the Bengals offense over the Browns offense, even though the Browns are statistically better than the Bengals, right? If you had one game and you're like, I need to get a bunch of points, you would take the Bengals offense, right? Sure. It's the difference between on average statistically being a good offense, and then there is it's the Browns. Like, you know what I mean? Like that whole factor of it, whereas like they might not improve statistically. They might even fall back a little bit in some categories, but there is a difference, right? You can say the Browns are the best offense in the AFC North because statistically, absolutely. But anybody in chat really going to take Jacoby Brissett Browns over the Bengals offense? And that's what changes, right, with Deshaun Watson.
It's interesting, though, because and it's interesting you bring that up, because the Bengals, though, we think of them more as like a pass happy unit. The Browns, to this point, and you look at the run pass percentage in neutral situations, they're one of the more run heavy teams in the league as a percent, as kind of compared to the rest of the league. Does that change? I'm interested to see how Stefanski handles this over these next 6 games, right? I feel like, Stefanski gets to kind of try some things. I don't look, 7 losses is probably too many for the Browns to make the playoffs. They really have to run the table, and they're probably going to lose 1. But he still gets a chance now to kind of tinker with this before it really counts next year. And so I'm interested from that perspective. What the Browns offense is going to be good. Is it better? How is it different? All of that. That's what's intriguing about this game against the Texans. Then you want me to talk Bengals Chiefs?
Yeah.
Does that username classify as a BBD? It sounds
I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to. I got another screen open here with StreamYard talking to them.
Dangerous path here with abbreviating this with letters. I'm just saying we are on a dangerous path here by calling.
I don't know why
BBD.
that's there. I couldn't tell you why that's there. That's weird. That is really, really weird. This is a really fun game. This is a 4:25 kickoff. And so thank goodness we all get to see it, because I think we're all. I mean, look, the Bengals swept the Chiefs last year, so this is a huge game. It's in Cincinnati again. Look, you can look at those last 2 games last year, and you can talk about that sweep. And someone on this podcast has been saying for a while, a lot of fluky wins at the end of last year for the Bengals, right? You could certainly look at those 2 games and say, well, I'm just going to say this and then I'm going to dip. So that's fine. No, but okay, look, you could look at those games and say like fluky wins, right? Because the first one, it's a shootout. They win a close game at the end because they were able to run the clock out by converting that 4th down. The second one, still a close game, went to overtime, right? So you could argue like, well, they had to hit the inside straight to beat Mahomes twice in fluky games. And you could make that argument, but the other argument I'll make here in favor of the Bengals is to say, no, they beat the Chiefs twice, and they didn't do it the same way twice. But yes, they won close games twice, But the first game was a shootout. And so they had to keep up with Patrick Mahomes the entire time. And they did. And they came out on top. And then the second time they played, that was much more of a defensive struggle, especially in the second half, right? Where they were able to shut down Mahomes. They were able to get turnover. And they were able to convert off that turnover. And really, we talk about it all the time about how they made Mahomes look, made him look human at the end of that one. And so, credit to the Bengals for that, because like I said, they kind of beat him in different ways, right? I talk about the Dolphins about this, how they're kind of game script independent. And that's what's so good about them, is they can beat you in a lot of different ways. Credit to the Bengals for beating the Chiefs twice in 2 different ways last year. And that's what makes this game so fun to watch. And look, I think the point spread in this one is like Chiefs by 1 in Cincinnati. And it started at Chiefs by 3. So a lot of money coming in on the Bengals. I think it's about right, though. I mean, I think this should be about a 50-50, because there's just a chance here that the Bengals have the Chiefs number, especially when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. I'll be interested to see how the Chiefs' new offense, without having like Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and a bunch of dudes, instead they just have Travis Kelce and a bunch of dudes, how that plays itself out if they're more willing to spread the ball around. But I'm nothing against the Bengals. That's not true. I do have a lot against the Bengals. They beat us in the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago. No, I'm picking the Chiefs in this one for this reason. From a meta perspective, 10,000-foot view, can you beat Patrick Mahomes 3 times in a row? I'm just going to say no, right? I'm going to vote no, you're not going to beat Mahomes 3 times in a row.
I will say, though, Tony, we did beat him exactly the same both times. The first time we held him to 3 points in the second half, and they got out on us again. It literally was kind of a carbon copy of the first game against the Chiefs. Week 17, they get out to a big lead. Yeah, we end up holding them to 3 points in the second half, and then when we played them in the playoffs, it was kind of the same thing as well. They got out in front of us. We kind of came back, and then we held Mahomes to 3 points again in the second half.
So did they only score 3 points in the second half both times?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like they may just have their number. Although it's interesting that it happened in the second half both times.
Chiefs would
be. Because you would say, like, you have their number, right? That would just happen. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm still going to take. What's that?
Just in case the Chiefs need to sign Baker Mayfield in the offseason.
Just
in case they best Bengals again. You know what I mean?
We'll go to the bullpen. We'll go to the bullpen in the second half.
You know what I mean? It's the special catcher. Like, you know what I mean? When they got the special catcher that catches for the one guy, Baker Mayfield coming out there for the Bengals for his whole career every time.
Yeah. No, it's interesting though, because my recollection of that first game was that it was like a back and forth shootout, and then it was like whoever's gonna have the ball last is gonna win. I didn't realize that they held them to 3 though. That is interesting.
Yeah, we have never had the lead on like the Chiefs in any of these games. They've jumped out early, and then in the second half we've held them to like 3 points, and then we just come back against them.
Oh, so they've never had the lead in regulation. We've
never had a situation where we were actually up on the Chiefs.
Yeah. That is interesting. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I have a brand here, so I'm gonna take the Chief.
Okay, we have a couple super chats here. He said, Taylor says, "Hail, what should I expect from Deshaun the rest of the year? Will he be closer to 2019 than 2020 or even 2018?"
You know what's hilarious?
What?
Like, I don't give all those years. I would take all of those years. He was pretty good in all 3 of them. And also, his rookie years in an interesting one to look at, right? Because he did play 6 games, had an incredible 22 touchdown passes in 5 games.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect, right? Like with dudes like that, there's what's logical, which is, hey, he ain't played football in a while. But dudes that talented don't tend to follow logic, right? Josh Allen, nobody looks that bad in year 2, and it comes back and becomes an MVP candidate in year 3. Logic overwhelms whatever that discussion is, right? Like it's the logic only matters so much with that. I don't know. He could come in there and put up 500, 5 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised. He can come up there and throw for a normal, 200-yard, 2-touchdown Jacoby Brissett game, and I also wouldn't be surprised. So I have no idea what to expect.
I expect him to be Deshaun Watson. I mean, a lot of people forget when I gave my reasoning for Joe Burrow being able to come back his second season and be good. I pointed at Deshaun Watson, who did the same thing, had the knee injury, came back. I just don't think that this guy is going to be anything different than Deshaun Watson, especially in this offense.
It's been interesting, right? Because this the Cavs played, and I was like, man, I didn't know Donovan Mitchell was this good. I always thought he was good, but like, damn, I didn't know he was like this. And I wonder if we're gonna have the same experience with Deshaun Watson. Be like, oh, this is why they were willing to do all of this and deal with everything that they were willing to deal with.
It'd be interesting to see also, like, because there was some rust in preseason. Although, I mean, some of it was rust, and then some of it was just he threw the ball to Anthony Schwartz a lot in preseason. So we'll see how much of that. I mean, he gets like a mulligan game itself against Houston. So
yeah, with the Texans, nice warm up game.
Yeah, a little warm up.
I would not advise though. Look, as somebody who has watched those LeBron games, Texans fans, if you think you will go in there with the crazy booing, that never works. It never works. Like the dude will always put up like 30 on you whenever that happens. You know what I mean? The crazy booing, like whenever the Browns came in, we're gonna boo Big Ben. This is the last game. Yeah, that didn't work. Like that don't ever work, dog. Like the booing only motivates the play. Take this as somebody who used to chant overrated at North Dakota State. They would beat us by 40, dog. It don't work. It does not work. It does not get in their head. It's not a good idea. They're gonna boo him though, and it's gonna be bad if he puts up a lot of points. I don't know what that environment's gonna be like. That's the most intriguing thing about the game.
Yeah, that definitely.
Oh, that's right. It is in Houston. Forgot about that.
Okay, so Easy for Poto says F that ops, Browns running the table, winning the North, and then this offseason making a trade, franchise changing trade for Owe.
What?
Okay.
What in the world?
I know.
This is such an interesting.
The Owe part is crazy.
Well, everything he says
after
all
of
the first part
is crazy.
Yeah, every part of that super chat is insane because 7 losses, you can't win the division at 7.
I mean, if Bengal fans about to do a victory lap on me and they win it with a 3-3 divisional record or worse. Okay.
I mean, 3-3, but 3-3, but they end up with 5 losses total. Like, I think they'll be okay with that.
Then okay.
But I don't. Someone
you did something.
Six is like the minimum, right? 6. You have 6. You're in
the
division.
No. Well, I mean, 10 gets you in it. Well, 10 can win a division. I don't think that the Ravens have looked inconsistent.
If you get in the playoffs, that's what matters.
I don't know.
Well, it's like I think 10 wins. Do you think more than 10 wins is going to have to take it to win a division? Because we thought that for like 2 weeks.
No,
we thought that for like 2 years, though. Well, there's been like this for like 2 years, and like the only time 11 games was won the divisions when the Pittsburgh Steelers did it, literally just because they got 11.
12 won it a couple years ago.
Ravens won it with 12, yeah.
Oh no, the Ravens won it with 12. Yeah, so 2019 and then 2020. But last year we all were convinced it was going to take more than 10, and it ended up being 9 got you into the wild card and 10 got you in. Yeah, I mean it's not looking any different this year. Like the Bengals schedule is very tough.
Get into the playoffs this year. The way the AFC is going.
I'm not falling for that damn juice again because I was sore. I swear to God, the Steelers were going to make the playoffs because of that. No, I'm not buying that juice. Every year we tell ourselves it's going to take 10 or 11 or some ridiculous amount. It's going to be the same amount of wins to get you in the AFC every year.
It took 9.5, which rounds up to 10. So there you go.
No. Get out of here, dog. Get out of here.
Raven Ron here says bet they over 53 KC over Bengals. Shout out to you,
over. I don't know. I can see the under hitting.
Have the Chiefs won any of these big games they played in though? Because they lost to the Bills, and I think they had another one. No, they lost to the Vikings too, right?
49ers, they won in that one.
Yeah, but that wasn't like a team that was recordly on their level though.
No, not at that.
Well, they haven't played a lot of those teams.
That was like when they first
played 2 of them though. That's a lot for like this part of the season.
They played the Bills. They played
the Vikings.
The Chargers could have beat them.
They didn't play the Vikings yet. The Chiefs?
They didn't play Vikings. Okay. Somebody lost to the Vikings.
No. They played like the Chargers twice, and then
the Vikings beat the Bills.
Talked about this in nauseum in spaces, but they've taken on Josh Allen and Herbert like twice, and then the 49ers is like the other game that they've kind of bragged about.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the 44 they threw on the Niners defense is good.
So let's rewind a little bit here. Let's talk about the Steelers game. It's just
I'm going to bounce out because my ride is like 5 minutes away, so I'm going to bounce.
Oh, okay. Take care, bro.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk here about the Steelers. Let's finish with the Steelers, and then we'll keep going. Steelers are playing Atlanta Falcons. The Steelers had done better against the run, right? That was their Achilles here. Between the tackle, run, right? I think it's a combination between bringing Miles Jack. Bush is playing better. I think Bush knows this is his final year, so he's auditioning out there. Definitely playing better. Secondary looks sus. And for the Steelers fan out there, even Minkah Fitzpatrick has not looked great. He's looked inconsistent. He has great moments, but he's been inconsistent. And then, TJ Watt is there just trying to battle the injury, right? He came back. I think I was surprised that he came back at all this year. I think Atlanta could sneak and win this game, but I highly doubt it. Yeah, I know Tony's saying, like, this is the game that could be a reverse Tomlin. I don't know. I think Mariota's I don't trust Mariota. I think that comes down to it, right? I don't trust Mariota.
What
Go ahead.
I would say that this is going to be a reverse Tomlin game because of Marcus Mariota. Because
Okay.
what I know about Arthur Smith and Marcus Mariota, he don't trust him more than you, Sonny. So he's not about to use Marcus Mariota. Like the time that you could beat Tomlin, right? And like Tomlin can win in these close games, but if you're used to playing in these close games, that's where the Tomlin game does not really come into effect, right? Tomlin does a good job of getting teams that aren't used to playing close games into close games and then just inching them out because he's used to doing it. This is the Atlanta Falcons. If there's a franchise in the NFL that is used to playing close games, if there is a team this year that is used to playing close games, it is the Atlanta Falcons. They've been in plenty of them this year. Also at home, Pittsburgh's not a good team. Let's not forget that. I know they won the last couple of games, but let's also not forget they're not a good team. And this is a bad team with a not a good rookie quarterback, but a maybe average rookie quarterback on the road. I don't like their chances. The Atlanta's not a terrible team, but they're a team that can most certainly beat Pittsburgh. I'm going to think the Atlanta Falcons take this one.
Okay. By the way, I think I'm going to go with the Steelers, but I'm not convinced. I wouldn't put money on this game, by the way. I would not put money on this game. It probably is going to be a home game for the Steelers again. And that upsets me every time I see them on the road against a team and they becomes a home field for them. I don't know. The one thing I want to see is Kenny Pickett if he keeps growing, right? Atlanta defense is okay, not great, but not horrible. They have some players there. Ace, you also face Atlanta. I think I'm from here at least. I'm the only one. We're facing them in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
What is your thoughts about this game?
I think one thing that Quincy said is definitely right. The Pittsburgh Steelers on the road, if you look at the splits, they haven't been the team that they've been at home. I think Atlanta is a decent team. They're still a team that could win their division. You talk about the NFC South. A lot of those teams over there aren't really good. That is a team I think that could win their division. I feel like, though, the Steelers are really good against the run, and that's generally all Atlanta does. Like, they'll even run if they're trailing in a game. So that kind of concerns me because the Steelers have been stout against the run. And Marcus Mariota against that defense, I'm not so confident in it. It's really going to come down to turnovers, and it's going to come down to Kenny Pickett as well. He's done a good job of evading the turnovers, but I think if you're giving a offense the I think advantage in this one, it's got to be Atlanta. I think that they score more at home. They've played very well at home. So I kind of want to lean Atlanta because I haven't seen Kenny Pickett go out on the road and really dominate in fashion like he did. He has played solid as of late. But I think if I'm looking at this one, as much as I want to say Steelers because I feel like they can shut down that run, I have a feeling that they'll have like a random Drake London touchdown. And then you got to remember, too, AJ Terrell is in that game. He didn't play. Well, he tried to play in the game that we had, but he pulled his hamstring and went out. If he's on George Pickens or Deontay Johnson, I'm just not sure where the Steelers really get their offense from in this game. Now, the Atlanta defense isn't really like a world beater. They're not really good on defense. But I think I'm going to go with Atlanta in this one just because I don't trust Kenny Pickett on the road until he shows it to me. If he shows it to me, then I'll start picking them. But the split numbers for them on the road are atrocious, for lack of a better word, honestly. Like, it's not good. With the 15 points per game. Like, I can't trust that.
Yeah, it's funny because, right, Tony said this is a game they're favored. They're supposed to win, quote unquote, supposed every given Sunday. And here we are split, right? Me and Tony are picking the Steelers. You guys are picking the Falcons. It should be an interesting game. Again, not a game that I will bet. Tony said it's Steelers minus.
And people are talking about Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts, if you had him in fantasy, he hasn't been a part of this offense anyway.
I think he's out.
When are we going to give up on
he's
Kyle
on IR.
Pitts?
But he was basically on IR this whole season. He hasn't done anything.
He was picked in the wrong offense, at least, right? Like he needs to, like talk about a player that, first of all, I did
Been
not.
in 2 offenses. They both been wrong for him, right? Because Arthur Smith, this is his first year, right?
But yeah. I don't
He
know.
just ain't good. Nah, we do this every time with a dude like Kyle Pitts, where we like, hey man, because we did this with OJ Howard, right? I remember when we did this with OJ Howard. It's the system and it's Jameis, and it turns out he's not good, man.
Nah,
He a
I
top,
won't
every
go
time
that
we
far,
overrate
'cause
one of these tight ends,
he
and
did
we put him up too
1,000
early.
yards
Eric
last
Ebron, Evan
He did have
Ingram.
1,000 yards
You
last
don't want to be drafted the first tight end in the draft. I don't care how dope he is. It's always somebody else that pops up that ends up being better.
Hawkinson looks good.
Who? He
Hawkinson.
ain't even on my radar.
TJ Hawkinson.
What?
He did have 1,000 yards last year.
They ain't in
Who?
Njoku's
Kyle Pitts.
neighborhood.
He had
Yeah,
a
I
good
think-
rookie year. Second year,
Yeah.
not so much.
I just think Kyle Pitts is better. I keep saying this. I said a pre-draft. He might not be a burner, but I think that he should be a possession receiver.
He
Not a
Devin
tight end.
Funches with better
He-
speed.
Yeah, again, the problem is I don't think he works well in the inline, making a possession receiver, and I think he'll be
But
fine.
they've been making him block this year.
that's my point.
Everything has
That
been
is my
blocked. It
point.
hasn't been him running routes.
What are they seeing that's making them say, "Man, we just got to make them block"? Is the
They're
question that
running for
everybody
Scotty.
should be asking.
Probably, maybe it's the system. I don't know. Like,
It's
maybe
not
he doesn't
because
fit
tight
the-
ends thrive in the. This is just the Shanahan system. Dudes thrive. Shannon Sharp thrives. Guys thrive in the system all the time at tight end. If he's not getting the ball at tight end in a system that loves tight ends, it's probably because he's not good at being a tight end. And
How
if
long
he's
has
not
this
good
coach
enough,
been there?
what Arthur Smith has been there for a year, right?
Was he there last year or is this
I
a
think
new?
he
No,
was-
Arthur Smith is new
Okay,
because he was the
okay.
offensive coordinator for the Titans last year, right?
Oh, I think you're right. Let me
Okay,
double check.
gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, man. If the son
Hey,
of the
if they
dude
wanna-
who
if they
runs
wanna let
FedEx can't get
Kyle
you
Pitts
right,
go, I know somebody that would be interested. That's all I'm saying.
hey, look, I'm just saying. I think there's a reason the brother's not getting the ball. You know what I mean? When dudes like Zacharias are out here getting the ball, like I feel like it's him at this point. Like, how many years are we going? Good thing the Bengals. Well, good thing. Maybe it's not a good thing because if the Bengals would have took Kyle Pitts over Jamar Chase, they'd still be very good, but they wouldn't have Jamar Chase
Kyle Pitts would have been better though.
over there. Stop it.
Nah, I don't
Stop
think so.
You don't
Stop
think?
it.
Wait.
He hasn't had 500 yards in the season yet. No matter that the situation ain't changing that.
Not he wouldn't be better than Chase. He would have been better in Cincinnati than what he is in Atlanta. Is what I meant.
Oh, okay, but it's not
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
He put up Allen Robinson numbers right now. Like, yeah.
Well, right now,
ain't
I
put
mean,
up Allen
he did have 1,000 his first year. So would he have gotten 1,000?
Maybe
with
because
T.
Chase would have been
Higgins
there,
and-
right? Chase would have been there, so those yards would have been there too. For I don't know.
They wouldn't have had to force it though. They had nobody else to throw the ball to at Atlanta, so it just ended up to be Kyle Pitts, and then he didn't really get
Wait,
that
no,
efficient of 1,000-yard season that year.
Ridley
So
was
I don't
there
know.
last year.
Who? I can hear you. Like,
Ridley-
legitimately, I'm saying
Jalen
cool.
Hurts hated that system.
Okay,
though.
Ridley.
He was like-
Ridley
he
and
was
Hurts,
like
yeah.
this.
Calvin,
Jalen Hurts. Calvin Ridley.
yeah.
I
He's
feel
there.
like Calvin Ridley's massively overrated. Massively overrated. That's my next guy. Everybody talking about Calvin Ridley like he's so
He got
overrated.
traded.
Again,
Didn't he
man,
get
stay
traded
away
to the
from the best
Jags?
wide receiver on a trash team. Those dudes are never as good as their numbers imply. DJ
When
Moore,
he got
you go to a
traded?
good
When did he
team?
get traded?
I think he went to the Jags, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, he
It
did
was
get
like
traded.
a random trade that didn't even.
Yeah,
mean
he got traded. I
anything
think
this season.
I don't know where that matters. But
He got
I
traded to the team that he bet against on the Falcons. He said that the Falcons would beat the Jags. Then he got traded to the Jags.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
boy,
Okay.
Sonny, I would have lost my 30.
Yeah, probably. Anyway,
if he
we
wasn't
have a
on
couple
fan
super
base.
chats here. Oh, look, this is easy for POTUS explaining. Yeah, call me crazy. Owe the GOAT in a year.
I'm
Defensive player of the
calling you
year.
crazy.
Okay, who? Miles, who? ODAFE Owe.
He's easy for real.
If that.
He's just saying anything. We should have known by the username. He's just saying anything right now.
And then Professor Chaos says Q. was watching your video and was wondering about how Miami probably could not get Lamar. I was wondering, do you think Detroit could? Sorry, Sonny. He's shopping Lamar like he is on sale.
You know what I'm saying? What you mean?
He was
Tell.
Lamar's agent. You didn't know that?
Look. I'm telling you, Sonny. He gone, dog. He gone.
He
Like, all
might.
the signs are there.
He ain't gonna be a free agent gone.
I was talking to somebody who was very close to the whole Watson situation earlier this week, and he was like, I knew he was gone at this specific moment. I was like, oh yeah, I've seen a couple of those with Lamar where I'm like, yeah, he's gone right here. Like, this is where he's gone at. And I feel like it's when they traded Hollywood Brown was the second that the Ravens were never getting him back. Because that's usually what does it, right? You notice it didn't take longer than a season for Watson to never come back after they traded D-Hop. You can't just do that. I think it's gonna fly. There's more than just statistics to go into trading people. You got to think about the human element. But yeah, I don't know where Watson goes. I mean, I don't know where Lamar goes, but I do think that as each day goes forward, the percentage of the Ravens being the highest percentage suitor to have him play for their team next year goes down.
Well, franchise tag incoming, and we'll see after that. And it's definitely gonna be an interesting.
Man, every time we put one of these roadblocks up on stopping it, I tell you it's gonna get passed, and then it happens, and then we end up right where we at right now with the 20 victory lap.
Look, I'm not even saying that you're wrong. I'm not even saying that he might not be.
In the summer, we was like, hey man, let's wait till camp to see if this contract thing is a whole conversation. Then we got the camp, and I'm like, okay, now we'll talk about you. Like, hey, hold on, wait, the season ain't even started. They got to the season to do it. Then the season happened. I'm just saying, we keep putting up these roadblocks on this whole thing of things like, hey, watch this date, and every year, every time it gets passed because the brother don't want to be there no more.
Okay, so I'm not even the only thing I'm here disputing is, I don't think he walks as a free agent. I think if anything, he might get the Watson treatment, right?
No, he's not going to walk as a free agent. You're going to be able to trade him. Yeah, you're going to have control. Like, at very least, you're going to transition tag him. But like, you're trading him though. Like, that he's not. Like, I don't know if it's super possible at this point that he comes back unless you have incredible success for the rest of the year. Which, hey, if you do, winning cures all.
Yeah. Okay. That being said, let me talk to y'all about our sponsor, and I don't have the ad read, but just chill with me here. Y'all, it's the Christmas time, it's the holiday time, and you want to upgrade because you want to look good. You want to look good for your ladies. You want to look good out there, right? It's ladies. You know, you out there. You out there.
All right, Chris Paul, you want to get a shirt?
No. Go ahead, check out True Classic, trueclassic.com. There's our link below. You get 25% off and free shipping. Look, the shirts are incredible. Super soft. They fit well. They go to your body. I remember when I put it on, I was like, damn, this shirt looks good. It feels good. I know the guys, they're in the same. It's a good shirt, good quality shirt. I definitely recommend it. If you're looking for a nice shirt to just go out there during the holiday break, then, you know, all the Christmas parties, go check True Classic and use our promo code or use our link to get a 25% discount and free shipping. But you have to use our link. True Classic is a good way to support the show. Go check True Classic. They have been good to us, good sponsor, and good product.
And look, here's the thing. Here's a benefit about the kind of economy that we live in with all this online stuff, right? You don't got to buy the shirt that Walmart makes for everybody, right? Like, because Walmart makes one shirt for everybody. And that shirt might not fit you well, right? Because that shirt is made for everybody. Now you get to go around and look for people who make shirts more specifically for your build, your style, your vibe, and your general, you know, height, weight combo, right? Because those are things that matter. Now you get to get an off-the-rack experience that's closer to a tailored experience because you are getting a shirt that is made with you in mind. So make sure you check out True Classic. AFC North Talk is the code. trueclassic.com/AFC North Talk. You get 20% off. Again, trueclassic.com/AFC North Talk.
For sure. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say here is thank you for our top tier Patreon. Adam Holland, Dom Zulu, thank you for supporting us. Also, we have all the other Patreons. You know who you are. Thank you so much for supporting what we do. Hopefully you guys would like when we do the almost like a backstage, very vibey streams. We appreciate you guys supporting us with your hard-earned money. We hopefully you guys are liking what you see. Okay. We have a super chat here, and then we can transition to the next game. Okay, so Ravens need to give up 2 firsts for DK and pay Lamar. I don't know, because the contract situation then. So you guys saw what Michael Vick said, by the way?
Oh, on his podcast with Shannon,
yeah, and
he should hold out, get paid.
no, that's not what. Well, he said he should have got paid in year 3, but he also said if you want to win, if
you gotta take less money.
Exactly right. And I'm not here saying
there's
Lamar
no way that the Ravens can make that argument with him, though.
No. That's what I was gonna say. I'm not here saying Lamar, you should not get any money. I'm always for players to get every single penny because, as I told in previous stream, I don't know if in here, but in my channel, I wouldn't gone to my job and say, you know what, pay me less. Nah, what would I tell that to
pay
a
me
player?
less so
right?
we can get a better intern.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous, bro.
Right.
That
So
would be a slap in the face.
yeah. So saying that if you sign Lamar, DK Metcalf just got paid like a huge amount of money for being a receiver, right? For being wide receiver 1. I don't know cap wise if you sign Lamar, if you have that money to go get him, right? That's my whole point. So you might sign Lamar for whatever record is, but that also will bring you down.
I think it's more probable that the Seahawks would trade for Lamar than the DK to any team.
Yeah, you really just don't got the resources too, because remember you spun a second on Roquan Smith. You know what else are you willing to spend?
Well, no, he was saying 2 firsts, so that means this year's first and next year's first.
So you're gonna go all the 3 rounds in the draft without a pick to get Roquan Smith for this year, and then like it's just you already spun a second round pick that limits what you could just spend on the 3rd round. I mean, the first round picks you can give up because you want at least one premium top 100 pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not only that, if you're paying Lamar that type of money, you need to hit on the draft, right? Because I'm actually I have a side.
The time for trading for like known players is over for the Ravens. Like they should have did that earlier in his rookie deal. You know what I mean? Like that's my whole thing with it is like they should have been doing this way earlier. Like you do this stuff when you have a guy on the rookie contract and they win the MVP in their 2nd year in the NFL. Like you knew early he was good.
It all depends, right? Trading for a player that signed a big contract is not out of the question. Just the first year is hard because there's a lot of money coming in. Now, if you get the mid contract, like example, the Browns got Odell Beckham mid contract, right? Their cap hit for Odell wasn't crazy, and same for whatever we want to think for Stafford when they brought him from Detroit. His cap hit wasn't crazy either, right?
Yeah, so he was on the end of a very long contract.
I know. I guess that's my point. It all depends when you bring the player into this big contract.
But keep in mind, though, every example you have has a quarterback that wasn't under big contract.
Jackson too. You got to pay Lamar Jackson too. Like,
so if you got to pay Lamar, it's kind of a wrap for keeping any of these guys that you trade for. That's my only thing. Is like. That's why you needed to do this earlier in his career when you had the space and you didn't have to worry about allocating money to Lamar Jackson.
I don't disagree. EDC wasted the opportunity on paying defense, so pay the man because it's not like they're gonna ever spend on a wide receiver anyway. Okay, since we have a lot of Ravens talk, let's transition to the Ravens game because I think of the Browns and the Ravens this week both have games that we both will be shocked if they lose. You can argue that the Ravens are playing the 2nd worst team in the NFL currently, and you can argue that the Browns are playing the worst team in the NFL currently. The only difference is the Broncos have a legit defense, right? The Broncos might have the best defense in the league. That offense just puts 3 and out, and they come and don't allow a lot of points. Go ahead, Q.
You know what the Broncos are? They're Texas A&M. They're that one bad team that really shouldn't be that bad, and they're the bad team that makes you nervous, right? Because at any moment you feel like Russell could just like have a good game, right? Because it's not like they're pathetic because they're starting like, Kyle Allen or somebody like that, or somebody is a definitive backup in the NFL and they don't have talent. They're a very talented, stinky team. They are underachiever. Those are the teams that worry you when you talk about like trap games and stuff. I only know it because the Browns have been that for like a couple of years. So yeah.
And I guess what I will say is the you can see why the Broncos traded for Wilson, thinking, we had this defense, right? It wasn't like they added a bunch of pieces on the defense. They basically came with the same defense from the previous year, but that defense is good. The offense has let them down every year for years, and now they're averaging less than last year. What, Kenny, 2 clubs?
Oof.
Less points per game.
Drew Lock would have been an upgrade. They traded the upgrade to get the upgrade.
They used to average more with Drew Lock 2 years ago. That is the biggest problem the Broncos have. So, talking about this game, I'm interested to see how this offense looks against this defense, because I do think this defense is a playoff defense, right? They're a playoff defense. They're a good defense. They have talent throughout. Now, they're struggling in the linebacking core, so I think the Ravens can exploit them on the run. Secondary-wise, they're really good with Patrick Surtain and the safeties, but that D-tackle, they have similar problems that the Browns have. I know Q will tell you they're the worst running defense, but that's where if there's a weakness in the defense, it's in the running side. Obviously, I'm picking the Ravens. I do think it's a close game. I can see this game being like 17-7 Ravens. The defensive struggle. I think what Tony said, it was perfectly right. Like, this will be a game, and I'm hoping this is like this, that is close, but it never feels close. It feels like the Ravens were in control, and I think it's because of the offense, right? I haven't watched a whole game for the Broncos this year, right? Because, Wilson, whatever, they haven't been good. But I'm interested to see how he performs. I really, if it is that bad, as we've seen and people talk about all year. 17-7 Ravens. Ace, what do you think?
Yeah, if you asked me when we kind of talked about the second half of the season for the Ravens, what games they could lose until it played out, this was one of them I thought that they could lose just because the defense is so good. But they lose the one to the Jaguars, so they're going to be out for revenge, I think, in this game. And then we just watched Russell Wilson lose to the Panthers. That offense
not just lose. He got his ass beat by the Panthers.
He got whooped in that game, or they got whooped in that game. I just don't believe in this Broncos offense. And I remember last season, I rode with the Broncos in that game over the Ravens for the same reason, and I'm not making that mistake this year. I think the Ravens take it. The offense is probably going to struggle in this game against that Denver defense, but I think that the Ravens offense will definitely put up more points than Russell Wilson, who's completely washed. And this game is in Baltimore, too. It's not in Denver with any mile-high conditions, so I think that favors Baltimore. I've got Baltimore in this one. I think that is probably 17-10.
17-10. Okay. Here.
I got a simple math equation. Roquan Smith plus them slow-ass Russell Wilson boot actions equals disaster. This will be a disaster. Okay. Russ is not going to look good. Now, again, Marcus Peters could get killed and all that stuff, and you can throw on the Ravens, right? Like, that has been proven that if you need to attack the Ravens, you want to do it through the air. But Russ ain't got it no more, man. Russ ain't got it. He can't be accurate on the run, and if he dares go on the run this week, that's the one thing that if the rate you do against the Ravens is not going to be successful, because they can just, one thing they do with Patrick Queen is quick trigger, right? The second the quarterback breaks, trigger to the pocket. Like, nah, this is not the matchup that the Broncos want. Even if they were good, it's not a good matchup for them. Now they're not good. Now, again, the Ravens are going up against a very strong defense, but you're going with a team with a former MVP at quarterback against a strong defense. So at least you have that going against their strength. The Ravens' strength is their defense. And ain't like there's no strength on that Broncos offense. So yeah, this is clearly a Ravens win. If they lose this one, they're like this might be like top 10
I'm not
all
here.
time.
I'm not here.
Like this
Okay.
could, if they lose this one and the Bengals win against the Chiefs and take first place already before we even get to January, all time choke job by the Ravens. All time choke job. But we ain't there yet. Oh boy, Bengal fans, man. Raven fans, I would hide.
Yeah, it won't be pretty. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Oh wait, we have a couple.
That's the choke job to get somebody fired that's been there for a while.
Oh, shit,
Like,
Somebody would get fired.
yeah.
Austin Houston was daddy for the Ravens, F. DaCosta, and then go Steelers for Titanic fan. Noah says his first time rooting for baby goat. He never be goat. Is he talking about Burrow?
He's talking about Mike White.
Who's Mike White playing? Who's the Jets playing?
I don't know. But it's the new GOAT. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
I think he was talking about Burrow, but okay. Q praying for your
Mouth after the shit.
after the shit. That's next week. That's next week. The question is in the preview game?
No, it's gonna be after the
recap.
The recap game.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Especially y'all beat the Chiefs. You know, I give y'all what y'all want. You know what I mean? Yeah, I give y'all what y'all want. Yo, it's WrestleMania for y'all, boy. I'll be Vince McMahon in WrestleMania for y'all. And y'all beat the Chiefs especially. But I need to be able to be clear to talk all of the shit that I need to for that preview show. So don't get twisted. It will be after the recap.
Okay. Saying that, let's talk about another game that it looks to be an easy game, right? This for me is even easier than the Ravens because this team has no defense, no offense. People are there saying, like, I just wish the season was over. Can I collect the check? That's where the Texans are. They had the first round pick basically locked. There's not even close. Like they won, so they're not over. They also tied. That was their first game in the season. So they're like, okay, we're good now. I think this is a game that I'm not gonna predict a booty beatdown because Watson is coming back, right? But this is a game that it could get out of hand. This thing is Watson hasn't played in a couple years, right? So where's he at? I don't know. But the thing is, you can see Shupp running on them, right? It's not like they're good against the running. You gotta depend on Watson, right? You can see them passing on them, and then you can see the defense on the passing side. I'll be interesting and see if the Texans say, you know what, we're gonna run the ball to burn the clock to get this thing over, so they don't beat us that much, and then in the process of running, they can score points. It'll be interesting, but not really. I think this is a comfortable win by your Browns. Q, what do you think?
Chat, y'all vote. Chat, y'all vote in the chat to tell me if you think that qualifies as a prediction of a certain element, because I don't know. It felt like that to me. I don't know. I felt like, you tried to
could not, who knows?
I know you tried to run the run action double reverse on me, but I don't know, man. I'm staying home. I'm staying home on that one. You know what I mean? Don't run no flea flicker over here. But this game's interesting, right? Deshaun Watson coming back after 700 games. Deshaun Watson coming back against his former team after 700 days. And then him being Deshaun Watson and everything that involves, right? It's definitely an interesting game. I think ultimately this is going to go down to fundamental football. The Browns are still really good at running the ball. Whether Watson's going to be great at Rusty or not, they're still great at running the ball. And the fact is that this is a team that the Browns could beat with Nick Chubb. And if they had to be down to their third string quarterback, they probably would have a good chance because, again, they can run the ball against Houston. Houston hasn't been a great run defense team. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how teams line up against the Browns. They still do that cover one stack box with Deshaun Watson in there, right? Like, just the jersey being out there changes things for that run game that doesn't really exist for other quarterbacks. So I think offensively, the Browns will be able to get what they want a little bit easier this week. I think Deshaun's probably going to have a normal game. I think he's going to have a normal game where it's like, oh yeah, he played well. You know what I mean? I don't think he does anything too crazy. I think this week's about intel, right? what do defenses do when we have Deshaun out there with Nick Chubb in a pistol set? What do they do if we put Chubb and Hunt out there at the same time with Watson? What do they do? Like, you're trying to see what defenses' reactions and what their first instinct's going to be to certain package alignments that you're not really going to run anything that extravagant, right? Probably a couple RPOs just to be testers, not necessarily to be super successful plays, but just to be testers, right? So it's going to be a lot of intel grabbing because they want to see what teams are going to do so they can better apply that information, the new things that they put in the playbook over the summer for for Deshaun. I'm all over the place today with names. So I think that's what we're going to see out the quarterback position. Defensively, it's going to be interesting to see what Browns team shows up. I think that's going to be heavily dependent on the situation the offense puts them in. Since I think the offense is going to be successful, I think the Browns are probably going to win this game.
By how much?
I would say 9 points.
9 points. Okay. By the way, here's Noah Stone saying, correcting. Not Mike White. I'm rooting for Mahomes first time ever.
Mahomes isn't baby GOAT. He is the GOAT.
Ooh, okay. Hey,
Tom Brady's only there because of accomplishments. Like, it's like when Bill Russell, like, people try to argue that Bill Russell, like, no disrespect, RIP Bill Russell, you know what I mean? I got all kind of respect, but like when people try to say like Bill Russell's the greatest of all time because he got like 11 rings, and it's like, yes, he does have 11 rings, but is he the most spectacular player you've ever seen with a basketball in your hand? The argument is probably no, because most people didn't watch Bill Russell play basketball. All I'm saying is Patrick Mahomes is definitely the most talented quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. Tom Brady might be the most successful one of all time. I don't think anybody's going to break his records. And I think that's always going to be true. But we talking about best, that goes down to talent. And Pat Mahomes is more talented than Tom Brady. I mean, like, that's not even an argument. Like, I think the second guy is what? Aaron Rodgers, you could say, is the most talented quarterback behind him. Prime Aaron Rodgers.
At least from the ones that I see. I mean, people talk about Elway.
Okay, none of them dudes from the 80s is holding a candle to what these dudes doing now. Like, no disrespect, it's just a different era. You were asked to do way less at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers had cannon arm and very accurate. So yeah.
And he changed this whole thing, right? Like, quarterback stats look different now because of Aaron Rodgers. Like, It's just, as kooky as he is off the field.
For me, if I'm saying anybody back in the day, I would go Dan Marino because he was throwing for like 5,000 back then.
Yeah, in like the 80s. That's crazy. With no 5-yard rule. Now that's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Dan Marino definitely would translate. Like, there are those outliers that definitely would translate to the newer game. But some of them,
Troy Aikman in this year, that
Troy Aikman would be Jimmy Garoppolo in this era. I said it. I said it.
Okay, Ace, tell me about the Browns, and then we can move to your.
Yeah, I think in this game, the Texans are scrappy. They're scrappy Texans, right? They're like the Lions from last year. They, put up a decent fight, or they start off these games being down by multiple scores like we saw last week against Miami, and then they try to make it respectable at the end. I think this team is pretty much tanking, bro. I don't think that they're really trying to win these games, because even at the beginning of the season, I saw Lovie Smith making some questionable decisions out there when it came to these games in this situation. I think the only way that the Texans even make this close is relying on that rookie running back that they got over there. But I think the Browns are going to cruise in this one. I think it'll be close because I don't want that BBD up on me. I don't want that juju on me.
We can make it triple.
But I think that this will
be.
We
can avoid the potential problems and call it. You just said I don't want that BBD up on me, dog. Let's just change it to triple B. Let's just save everybody for the window.
This is what I'll say. I think I'm with Q where it's about a 9-point game because it'll be Deshaun Watson getting his warm-up game, and it'll be the Texans trying to keep it close because they're going to get up for this game, I think, just because even though a lot of the players on the team weren't even there when Deshaun was there,
the crowd,
I think they just got to at least try to get up and put an effort in this game. Like, the last thing that you want to do is lose your franchise quarterback and then get blown out by him in his debut and in a bad season. I mean, if you do that, I mean, ticket sales are probably already down, but I think the rest of the year is pretty much done. I don't think that they're going to have any fans in the stands that will probably match what they're going to have in this game. So I got the Browns in this one.
Well, you know what it's like.
9 points comfortably.
You know what it's like too, right? When like I don't know, like maybe high school football or like high school sports, when your team kind of trash, and then you go to one school, like, oh, this is what they do. They play high, and it's like, oh, they got the crowd going, they got a video board, they got stuff going on in between like the timeouts, and you kind of hype for the first couple of drives. But it really depends on how the first couple of drives go, right? It's like when they bring the University of Akron to Ohio State to play. They always give you a solid 2 drives in that first quarter. But if they don't give you more than that, ooh, buddy, it could be like that's when you realize that, yo, we playing Ohio State. Like they're better than us, right? It could be similar to that. That's the Browns thing, right? They cannot let Houston believe they can win this game early on. If Houston starts to believe they can win this game, they're going to be energized because there's going to be a crowd there for the first time this season. They're going to get energy from that crowd just because that's how athletes work. We get energy from the crowd. And then like everything else is going to build on top of it, right? Where you can allow that kind of environment to overcome you. That's how bad teams win games in these kind of environments. That's what you have to avoid if you're the Browns. You're the Browns, got to kill them early. Like, that's the thing. Kill them early. Score very early and off. Get up 14 early, they're going to be like, yeah, we still suck, right? You know, but if you let them hang around in that first and second quarter, then they're going to actually start believing that they should be beating you. And that's a problem. So, you know, watch out for that.
Yeah, we have 2 super chats here. Success equals greatest. That's why he's the GOAT, plus he's mine best.
He don't even got a better mind than the dude who carried him to them championships.
Ooh. Tom Brady is the JC of the NFL.
Right. I'm tired of people telling me Jay-Z's the best rapper of all time. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to get the Jay-Z heads mad at me. I'm gonna let that one go.
Don't do that one.
All I'm gonna say is he lost to Nas, dog. Like that's on the record. He took the L at home, dog. Like he lost on the record. Dropped some trash after Ether. Now I'm just saying. Usually you don't get to be the GOAT after one of your contemporaries completely slam you in a direct head-to-head competition in such way as Nas did to Jay-Z. Not saying Nas is the GOAT. I'm just saying that's the kind of thing that takes you out the championship game.
Okay. Let's talk about the game, that matchup, the team that in my opinion is the toughest game of all 4 games this week. Bengals. Jeez. Should be a good one. I'll start with this. Look, Bengals are a good team. The Chiefs are a good team. I just feel this is the weakest Chief team that we have seen in the past couple of years. Now, the records don't reflect that.
They're not harder to defend without Tyreek Hill.
Well, yeah.
Because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this Chiefs team, I mean, they still have a good O-line. Right? That was the thing. They said, we're going to go O-line over receivers. Right, that's when they revamped the O-line. They were able to keep Tyreek for 1 more year. As contracts are starting to get due, they had to trade Kyrie. Saying that, I mean, they're still a good team. They still have Patrick Mahomes. That defense is good, not great, but good. And the offense again solid. They still have Kelsey. Mecole Hardman playing. I know Tooney's not playing.
He's on. McCall is on the IR. So
exactly. He's not going to be in this game. So it's a couple. So it's receiver wise right now. They're Valdez Scanley. They have is Juju playing because he was hurt as well.
Juju will be in this game.
Okay, so it's Scanley and Juju. Their burners are not going to be there, right? So Tooney is not there, and then we know McColl's not there. I actually think Bengals are going to win. I think Bengals win it by 7, by a touchdown. I think the Bengals win. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'll wait after you.
Oh, so I think the Bengals actually – the game will start a little slow, in my opinion, for both teams. They're going to feel each other. But I think the Bengals will strike first, and then it might be a small back and forth after that. But the Bengals will be on top of it. Like, it will be 7 – there might be 7-7, then 14-7. It will be like a back and forth like that. But the Bengals will always be on top, and I think they will finish by 7. I think the Bengals defense will hold them, not stop them. I think it's gonna be like 23-30. I don't know what was the over under earlier, but 23-30 Bengals. I'm interested to see if the Bengals can establish the run, because if they can, then the play action pass will open, and Chase is back in this week. And a guy that I like a lot, Hayden Hurst, I think he should be able to have a good game. And then T. Higgins has been eaten, so the corners for the Chiefs are not great. The rookie's back, but the corners itself are not great. McDuffie's back. I like him a lot out of Washington this year. Anyway, I think this is gonna be a good game, very entertaining game. But I think the Bengals take this game. Q.
Ladies and gentlemen, this game hinges on one thing and one thing only. Ladies and gentlemen, I need the stands to stand up, because a man is questionable for this game that's going to determine it. And I know what y'all think. Jamar Chase? Is he the one? No, that's not to be the one that changes it. Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson is the X factor in this game, because what do the Chiefs really have at the end of the day? Underneath threat in Juju Smith-Schuster and Travis Kelce. What is Logan Wilson's main responsibility? What should it be? Is handling those tight ends, is being able to carry that deep third of the field, and being able to crash in on the underneath guy. Now, we know that Von Bell, he can take care of that route, right? We know that Von Bell can do that. We have seen video evidence of this. I have no question. But this becomes down to Logan Wilson. If Logan Wilson plays, Bengals by 10. If Logan Wilson does not play, Chiefs by 3. The Logan Wilson stand sits down. I'm sorry. I doubted him. I'm sorry, Bengal fans. But Logan Wilson is the difference this week, y'all. So if I ever slip up and say Logan Wilson ain't no difference maker, you have this tape.
Damn.
Shout out Kentucky.
Damn. Okay. So Q back on the Logan Wilson. Ace.
Yeah, this game is one of the ones that the Chiefs had circled. We had this circled as well, because you kind of have to do a little bit of a test. You know, when you stick your foot out in the water, you got to feel if it's cold or if it's hot. That's what you're looking for in this team. Like they're on a hell of a run right now, 7 of the last 9. But being honest, if you look at the last 3 games, those are games that they probably should have won, even given the circumstances that they had. But this is a test to see, was November legit, right? Can you beat the teams like the Bills? Can you beat the teams like the Chiefs? I think that this is a great test for them. When you look at the splits for these two teams, it's very interesting. The Chiefs have been at their best on the road. These teams and the Bengals have been at their best at home. These are top offenses, top defenses, all of that on the road in those splits, where the Bengals and Kansas City Chiefs are pretty much deadlocked even. When you look at it from that aspect, it's going to come down to, I think, turnover margin. It's going to come down to the Bengals defense making better plays than that Chiefs defense. The Chiefs have tried to retool that entire secondary. The one thing that they've been confident about, speaking to Chiefs fans, is they're talking about how they have these 3 rookie corners. I don't know if that's a strength. You got 3 rookie corners against this receiving core. And I think, even though I do like the kid that they have over there, Trent McDuffie, I think he's definitely going to be destined to be a pretty good corner in this league. I don't know if he's ready for Jamar Chase. I don't know if he's ready for T. Higgins, because this guy is 5'11". That was one of the issues that the Chiefs had last year. They had guys that were kind of undersized. So when you have a 6'4" guy like T. Higgins going against a 5'11" guy and Trent McDuffie, that's going to cause issues. And then they've got another kid. I don't want to disrespect him, but he played at the HBCU level. He's doing pretty good. But these are guys that are going to have to go against those receivers. When it comes to that Chiefs offense, I feel like one of the things was Pat Mahomes. He really just relied on Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill last year. He didn't even kind of go through his reads. He just dropped back and kind of just immediately went to those guys. What Lou Anarumo did, which I think he's going to be the biggest X factor in this game, is that he gave them certain looks at the beginning, switched them up. The other thing that he did, everybody knows that he did the drop 8 thing, but the other thing that he did was anytime he put Trey Flowers on the field, he ran him in man coverage on Travis Kelce because he's kind of that tight end stopper for the Bengals. Now, he only goes in on certain reps. It's really when it's important. I think he played 9 reps in one game and another game, and most of the times that he's been on Travis Kelce, he's limited him. But you guys know what my motto is. You're not going to stop star players. You can only hope to slow them down. And I think that that's what the strategy is. Now, no Tyreek Hill. A lot of Chiefs fans think that that's an advantage. I honestly don't, because for me, I'm putting all my resources to slowing down Travis Kelce. I think he is the guy when you need it on third down in the game. They're going to Kelce. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you look at some of those games, especially against the Chargers. They went to Kelce when they needed to win. The one thing that does worry me, though, Pat Mahomes is playing out of his mind, and this is a Bengals secondary that does not have Cheeto. We have all of our other starters. We're pretty much healthy, but we don't have Cheeto. And we saw last week Ryan Tannehill made the right reads. Can Pat Mahomes make the right reads? The one thing that people don't really talk about Pat Mahomes is he's not an elite processor when it comes to reading the defense. He really relies on his natural abilities, and he's going to go with either his first read or what he thinks is happening. And when people were like, oh, he had a brain fart, it really was because he didn't know how to read the defense, and he really just wanted to rely on Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. The one thing, though, about him not having Tyreek this year that I think is different than last year is it kind of forces him to look at guys like Juju, Valdez-Scantling. And so I think, can he read this Lou defense? I think is going to be the biggest S factor. I still think he scores a lot of points. I think this is going to be a game where both teams score a lot of points because I see the Bengals corners kind of giving some stuff up here. But I think in that second half, that's where this game has always come down to, the second half. But in the first half, the Bengals have to do something that they haven't done in the previous 2 meetings, which is get out ahead in this game. Try to get a lead on this team and try to play from that standpoint versus worrying about that. Now, the Chiefs also didn't really run the ball. That was another thing that they kind of brought up after the game. Hey, well, we didn't run the ball in those RPO situations. I do like the running back that they have. I think it's Pacheco, however you pronounce his name. I do think that he can do some things, but this is a Bengals defense, and it was a crazy stat that I heard this morning on the Athletic podcast when they were breaking it down. When DJ Reader is in the game, like in the game, on the field, the Bengals are the number 1 run defense in the NFL. When they take him off of the field, they're 27th. So if DJ Reader is on the field and he's affecting what they do, and the run is pretty much predictable, which I don't think this Chiefs team wants to run. Like Andy Reid has no problem getting away from the run. But I think he's not going to have as much success in this game because between DJ Reader, I think the middle stuff is going to be blocked, and he's not really a guy that runs up the middle. He's kind of a guy that runs off of the tackles, but that's where Sam Hubbard is elite at, that edge, holding the edge and doing that. I think that they're going to keep this team into an offense that can score, but I think they're going to get opportunities where they win or they hold them to 3, and I think that's the difference maker in this game. Cincinnati's at home in this one. I don't know how cold it gets in Kansas City, but I think weather will also play a factor in this game as well. The other thing is the Chiefs, I believe the home splits the away splits favor their run defense. They have been better on defense this year, but I think the way that the Bengals are getting the ground game going, especially against Tennessee, who was ranked 2nd in the league, them being 3rd by the splits, I don't think will stop the Bengals from being able to run this ball. So I think you will see some balance from Joe Mixon. And we're going to play AFC North football. Like, honestly, when you play the Chiefs, I'm not going to try to call them soft, but they're more of a finesse team. Like, that division in the AFC West is more finesse. And I don't know if they can handle the physical type of football that we play here in the AFC North. And they're going to have to play that in the cold weather and be physical. All in all, though, I think it's a close game. I think it's mano a mano. I think it's Joe Burrow versus Mahomes. I think it's my guys versus your guys, my defense versus your defense. They already got the bulletin board material that they needed from Justin Reed with him talking about Hayden Hurst and T. Higgins this week. I don't know why he did that, because when the Bengals get bulletin board material, it just doesn't end well for other teams. I think Justin Reed is be a target in this game.
That's
definitely going to target him. But I think Carlos Dunlap, a lot of people, I will say that. One person that I'm worried about Chris Jones obviously playing at an Aaron Donald level. I think, though, the strength of the Bengals defense, as we saw against Jeffrey Simmons, was the interior. Like, if he was going against Jonah, now if they move Chris to the outside, which they do, then I'm worried about if he goes up against Jonah. But the one guy that I am worried about on the defensive line for the Chiefs is Carlos Dunlap. This game is personal for him. He
Ex-Bengal.
had beef with Lou. It ended ugly. He's going to be playing with some extra arm. Even though he's an older player, he's going to want to have some kind of impact on this game. The Bengals offensive line has been playing well lately. Lyle Collins is looking like Lyle Collins from last year over the past couple of weeks now. So the offensive line has to protect them. Like Sonny said, it always comes down to the trenches. But I got the Bengals in this one. I'm going to say 33-30. Bengals take this one at home.
So we have me and Ace with the Bengals. I can't remember what Tony picked. I think he picked the
You know he
Bengals.
didn't pick the damn Bengals.
He's 500.
Oh, that's right. She 500. And then Q is a game time decision. Wilson plays. Bengals.
Yeah,
Wilson
whether
plays.
Logan Wilson plays or not.
Yep.
Yeah, Q is a game time decision. Okay, we have a couple super chats here.
The
Hey, Ron,
antidote.
how are you doing? Shout out to you, man. Thank you for the donation. Shout out to Seneca Wallace, better QB than Brady Nova.
Brady's just Tyler Heineke, but he got a chance to be on the team for a while.
Ohio swag like Ohio. Okay. And that is it. Okay, guys. So one thing I do want to say is, again, thank you for the sponsor, True Classic, great shirts. So go check them out. Also, our Patreon backers, we can't say enough. Thank you for backing us. Third, as you saw, we have moved the shows. It's important for you to subscribe, hit the bell. We tried to come Mondays. Obviously, last week, Monday, there was a Monday night, so move it to Tuesday. Our review show, we're pushing it to Fridays now. We have some conflict in time, so we're going to be coming more on Friday. So again, hit that bell. That way you know when we come live. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you Monday after. We'll see if all 4 teams win or some people are happy and some people are sad. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.